Amateurs, what's happening? This is your host Deuce. Welcome back to Amateur Opinions. It's a brand new week, brand new show, brand new episode. I've got DK and Petro as my guests today. Beautiful sisters. How you guys doing?
We're good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Good, Glenn.
Nice. Welcome to the show. Funny, so you're the lucky guest to experience my brand new sponsor.
Oh yeah.
So I have a brand new sponsor on the podcast. They're called Black.Petro. So it's an ice cream, right? Ice cream. And
Black.Petro is the brand.
Black.Petro
is the brand.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So basically what they do is they make ice cream, but they use African flavors instead of using orange or mango or vanilla or chocolate. So they use African fruit and African like these maize, like they have a maize flavor, and the flavor is actually very good. So I've actually put a scoop each into our
Oh, so
place.
it's basically like ice cream, but inspired by African dishes.
Exactly. Yeah. Basically.
Okay.
He goes about talking about how his grandmother inspired this flavor, or his mother inspired this flavor, or his childhood when he was walking to school he used to buy this, and then so he thought of making an ice cream flavor using that. So it's stuff like that. So the one we have today is called Masao, and Masao is like an African grape kind of. So it's found in Zim. I don't know if it's found in South Africa. Actually, I'm not sure, but it's found in Zim, and it's this red little grape, and it's usually dried. So so imagine a dried grape, right?
Interesting.
With its own flavor. So that's what we have there. So during the podcast, whenever you want, just like eat, and then at the end I'll just ask you what you think of the flavor.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's quite good. And then at the end I'll also tell you guys how you can also get the actual flavor. I mean the actual ice cream from
Black.Petro.
From Black.Petro. That's right. Okay. So you guys went on a trip to Turkey and Greece, am I right?
Yeah.
Around
3 months ago we went to.
Was it 3 months? 3 months already.
3 months already.
Wow.
This year's moving quite fast, eh?
That's crazy. I thought it was like a month or something.
Yeah.
So it's been 3 months. You went to Turkey and Greece.
Yep.
How did you guys decide on where to go? Whose idea was it? Was it yours, DK, or
It was
Patrick?
DK's idea.
Okay, maybe I can explain how this started.
Right.
Like all my travels, they're quite random, right? All my travels are quite random. So in this case, I wanted to do a solo trip I was looking for an affordable place, basically, right? And then as I was searching through like Instagram, the internet, I came across an advert, right?
Yeah.
It was an advertisement that was showing a trip to Turkey, right? So you'd go off sailing in Turkey or something like that. So I thought that would be something that I'd be interested in. But I think also because I've never really traveled alone, just the fears of traveling alone and, going to a whole different country by myself. So I knew Pat was also like looking for a trip abroad this year to celebrate the 21st birthday. And so I sort of just approached her with it, showed her amazing pictures of Turkey, convinced my mom, and maybe she can tell us where she agreed to do it with me.
Okay, so Pachi, you're a student, right?
Yeah.
So you had to convince your mom to pay for it, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. But DK, you work, so you had to.
I have to
finance
cover
it
myself.
yourself.
I feel like she did most of the convincing though. Like by the time I was literally in the process of making up my mind, trying to approach my mom, this. Like they were literally already halfway through planning it. That's how much she wanted to go. So it was like a good backup plan. Like I can't go alone, but I can get someone to come with me. Yeah.
And how was that, like traveling with your sister?
It was a really amazing experience. For me, I like to travel, and it makes the experience even much better when I'm doing it with my loved ones and people that are close to me. And I mean, these become memories that we share forever, We could always look back, maybe 20 years later, and like, oh, we went to this trip together and da-da-da.
Reminiscing, looking at pictures.
Yeah. So for me, I think that sentimental part about it, that's what I loved the most. Yeah.
Yeah. But you guys are totally different. So DK is an engineer and Patu's a fashion designer. So it's quite interesting. I'm guessing your interests are a bit different. So did that also kind of translate into your travels? Like Because you probably wouldn't want to do the exact same things while you're traveling. I'm guessing.
I could partially disagree. In as much as we're very different, I feel like we have like very similar interests in terms of relaxing, having fun, like out of our like different career paths. Like despite that, we kind of do have like similar things that we both would like enjoy to do, like for fun. That so we found that even though we didn't do everything together on the trip, most of it was, and we enjoyed most of what we did together. Yeah. And so it was not a time where. Okay, maybe there was then there, but
what happened?
There was not a time where I'd be like, I don't want to do this totally. If there was like no significant reason, like we'd want to see things and we'd have like a similar or like same interest in what you want to do and see.
So there was not much compromising, is what you're saying?
I think it goes back to the fact that in as much as the trip was my idea, I knew that Pathu wanted to travel this year, you know, and so the story behind it is that she wanted to do it for her 21st birthday. For my 21st birthday, I traveled with my mom, right? And so the idea was that she'd do the same thing with my mom. However, she was not really keen on the destination that my mom wanted to go to.
Which was?
What was it, Pathu? I'm not quite sure.
Was it not China?
I think it was Dubai and Thailand and one of the places she's been to before. So she wanted to try a whole new experience. You know, so I think at the COVID, we had similar travel ambitions. We knew where we wanted to travel and what we both wanted to get out of it. And it was quite similar. So she became like sort of like the perfect travel companion for this trip.
That's
because,
dope.
Our ambitions were aligned.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as far as Turkey is concerned, what kind of interesting things are in Turkey? Like what did you guys get up to?
Turkey.
It's a lot, but I feel like for me, number one was the food. You know, like it's really like great to go out and do all these activities like during the day, go there, see this, see that. But just knowing that you're gonna have one of the best meals for dinner tonight, just like you're not like, oh, okay, we're done exploring now, dinner time and then bedtime. You kind of also get excited for just going to eat, walking down the road to go grab dinner. That's still exciting in itself, you know, so you kind of like still look forward to every other thing, even food. Yeah.
Okay, so food, what else?
The thing is, there's so much to do in Turkey. It's one of those, I think after the trip, I felt that it satisfied all my travel cravings. You know what I mean? Like I was that happy with it. The food was amazing. You know what I mean? For me, it's important to go to a place, experience with their cuisine, and just fall in love with it. And that's what happened with Turkey. It was really just hearty food.
No, keep talking.
It was really hearty food. Really delicious. And also just the place looks gorgeous. Hey, it's insanely gorgeous. And I think I hadn't seen enough pictures of Turkey prior to going there. You know what I mean? Places like Bali, it's all over the internet. You know what you're going to expect, you know. With Turkey, there were some gems that we actually like sort of like revealed when we were there that we just didn't expect. The landscape is beautiful. Also the people. I think Turkey has the most hospitable nation, you know, one of the most hospitable nations like ever. I remember this one time we took an overnight bus to this little town that we're going to stay at for 2 days. So it was so early, and you know how with most hotels, check-in is at around, what was it, 2 p.m., you know, so we were just like, oh shit, okay, what happens now, you know? And just as we got off the bus, this is, mind you, this is around 6 a.m. if not 5 a.m., right? We got out of the bus and now, okay, we're like, okay, do we go to a hotel and just chill and just ask them to, you know, wait until check-in? And this old man came out of nowhere. I think he knew that tourists stopped there with these midnight buses, you know. He knew, and he literally came out of nowhere. And he said to us, I know your hotel is probably not open by now, but you're free to come sit in my store. He had like a travel agency store. It's like, you're free to come sit in my store as you wait for your hotel to open. He offered us some Turkish tea. Is everything okay? Technical difficulties.
Just having trouble with this cable. Damn
okay,
it.
sorry.
But yeah.
You know, so I think for me, the fact that the people were so warm and so like welcoming for me was like one of the biggest highlights of being in Turkey. Yeah.
So the people were very friendly. And how's the language? Because I'm guessing that's one of the things I'd be most worried about going to a non-English speaking country.
No, there's definitely a barrier there.
Yeah.
We struggled at times. I remember this one time we were in Istanbul, and I was very tired from walking up and down the mall, and DK still wanted to explore. So now I'm trying to find my way back home. And literally, she drops me off by the bus stations and tells me, okay, take this, take that. You'll probably take 3 trains and you'll be home. I was like, no problem, I'll do that. I'll probably just ask people around. I literally was directed up the street to go get my next bus.
Yeah.
When I got up the street, I was directed back down. When I got back down, I was directed back up.
Shame,
and I was
poor
like,
thing.
what even? And everyone is just... I feel like they do want to communicate, they just can't.
Yeah.
So they'll try to Google Translate. They'll be like, okay, wait a minute. Let me try put this into my Google. You type this in, and they'll try to make sense out of that. But it just obviously makes communication it's just derailed. It's like very long now because this must happen and then that. So in terms of language, if you're not a very patient person, you're
But thank goodness for Google, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that makes life a lot easier.
Yeah, there was a clear language barrier, but I think I also just want to highlight that because they're so warm and so hospitable,
Yeah.
they actually take their time, you know what I mean, to try and understand what you want from them and how they can assist you. And not a lot of people are that patient, especially in Istanbul. Istanbul is the biggest city in Europe, you know what I mean?
Oh, really?
It is, actually. I didn't know
It's that
this.
massive?
It has 15 million people residing in it. 15 million people. It's a lot, hey? And so you'd think, city people, everyone is just so busy going to the next place and just minding their own. No, they'll stop and literally help you out, as best as they can. So, yeah.
That's crazy. And so you guys mentioned the food. Where were you guys residing? Were you guys residing in a hotel where they serve food, or were you guys actually eating outside?
We stayed at a hotel where they did have meals being prepped, but we chose not to eat there, particularly because we wanted to walk out and try out the local cuisine, street food, this and that. And we knew that probably the hotel would probably try to serve food that is more
Western food.
food, to accommodate for the tourists that are visiting them.
Yeah.
And they don't want to eat food that we can typically find here at home. We wanted what they originally have.
I think what Patu just said is important because, most hotels are, especially when they go to these cities, they actually the big Western brands, your Hiltons,
Yes.
et cetera, you know what I mean? You find them there. And what they typically do is that, especially for breakfast, you'll have your normal eggs, sausages, bacon, and whatnot, which is not necessarily what that country eats for breakfast, if you know what I mean. So I think for us, it was important to not take the breakfast option so that we can go out and explore the local cuisine.
Okay. And what was the pricing like?
Cheap.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, Turkey was really affordable.
How much was a
you know?
meal?
On average, I think, for example, right, dinner, a 3-course dinner,
Yeah.
we would have our drinks, would have appetizers, would have starters, the main and dessert. That would be for both of us. That would be around 250, right? 250 rand, I think. And that was us going all out. But if we're going for street food, it could even be $30 for a wrap, a wholesome, delicious Turkish wrap,
And it was really good.
It was really good. So I was really happy with the pricing, yeah.
You just shook your head as in...
No, I'm agreeing.
It was
It
really
was
good.
really good. It was
Are they
really
saying
good.
that was crap?
No, it was really good.
Okay. And okay. And the locations. What are there any attractions? What kind of stuff were you guys doing? Are they beaches?
We're
Are
doing
they
everything?
What do they have? Compared to you've been to Thailand, right?
Yeah.
So-
Okay, so
yeah.
it's
What's
not
the big-
like
what's the
for
big
example,
difference?
Thailand would be a tropical destination,
Yeah.
where you have your beaches, you have how can I say it? Just tropical trees and anything that characterizes a tropical place. Whereas Turkey, I don't know what kind of. I mean, they do have the coastal areas, right? We did go to one of the coastal areas. Spent. So that at the coastal areas you could spend some time swimming, for example.
What's it called?
They have quite a lot of coastal areas, but the one we went to was Kusadasi, specifically because they have a port, and we wanted to go on a cruise from Turkey. Yeah, so and
To-
I mean
to
they
where?
to Greece.
Is that how you guys ended up going to Greece?
Yeah.
So you used a cruise ship to go to Greece.
Yeah.
So you started off in Turkey, went to Greece, and then how was Greece? Compare like with the people. How are the Greek people?
I don't want to make a comment on that because in Greece we were there for such a short time. You know what I mean? It was we're in a cruise, and with cruises you tend to spend a lot more time in the cruise than you do on land, if you know what I mean. So, I mean, from what I saw, they were very friendly. You know, we had like our braids, and people were they found them so beautiful, and they'd stop to tell us how beautiful we are.
And there are not a lot of black people there, I'm guessing, huh?
No.
So you're like a freak show, not a freak show, but you're basically a very
like the point of attention.
Yes,
basically.
yes.
Yeah.
Kind of like a white person going to a village, and then all the kids are like,
exactly.
I don't wanna touch your hair.
Yeah. It's funny how at some point in Turkey, this was Turkey though.
Yeah.
There'd be people who tried to sneak pictures of us without asking because they were just so. They were so in awe of like just seeing these two black girls walking around, and I'm pretty sure they do see some black tourists, but I think they're just excited to see all black people.
It's still exciting, huh?
Yeah.
And about that, normally I feel if someone would like try to sneak a photo of you, you'd be like, no, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But with them, like you could see like they genuinely want to ask. They just don't know how to like how am I even going to say this in English? Like what
The
am I
language
say?
barrier.
So they'd say it, like they'd like come close to you, you're like, no, what's going on?
Yeah.
But you still wouldn't get like upset or anything because you can actually see like the kindness in them.
So you take the picture.
Yeah, and
we
they'd be
were-
like, oh,
we
no,
were
just like ask,
keen.
come through, yeah.
That must be
Yeah.
exciting.
We were keen,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's very cool.
Because I think the reason why, because the Turkish people that were spoken to in English,
Yeah.
they all had good intentions. You know, they were all so kind, and so for those that couldn't speak English but still wanted a picture, we were open to it. Yeah.
Okay, and so you took a cruise to Greece. You're saying you weren't inland. You didn't go inland, or you did?
For the amount of times that we were inland, it would be like for a few hours of the day, then you'd have to like get back onto the cruise ship. So it'd be like an hour or 2 hours.
Why didn't you guys decide to stay a bit in Greece?
The thing is, Turkey was our main destination. You know what I mean? So I had planned the Turkey trip and everything. And I just somehow found out that it's actually Turkey and Greece are very close to one another. They also have like very similar traditions and very similar cultures. And so when I found out that it was just literally 4 hours away, and we could get a cruise deal.
So it's a 4-hour cruise.
It wasn't a 4-hour cruise, but like in terms of maybe if you were to drive from the furthest point of Turkey to the closest point to Greece, if you know what I mean. Like, yeah, so that
Okay.
would be 4 hours. Yeah. So we decided to do the cruise where, yeah, it was a 3-day long cruise, and it was exciting that we could see like, you know, some highlights of Greece in just 3 days.
Yeah.
Because obviously we're a bit time restricted because our main destination was Turkey.
And I feel with the cruise, we got to experience so many different islands.
Yeah.
We got to experience Mykonos, Santorini, Athens, Crete.
It was
and I don't
amazing.
think had we chose to be on land, like maybe fly to one of the islands, we would have been able to go to all those islands.
Yeah.
In as much as we had very limited time in all the islands, we still got to like stop at each one of them because of the cruise.
Which island is this though? The one you guys took dope pictures?
Santorini.
Santorini.
Yeah. That is like when people think Greece, they
Yeah.
think Santorini.
Santorini.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of the most spectacular islands. Literally one of the most visited islands. People flock there.
It looked amazing.
It's gorgeous. Like it's got sparkling white buildings. It's the Asian Sea is right there. You know, it's just.
Yeah.
It was breathtaking. I remember at some point I stopped DK and I was like, people actually live here. Because those are people's homes. And I'm like,
They are, yeah.
imagine if I was to wake up here every morning and call this my home.
Oh my
It
goodness.
was beautiful.
It was breathtaking.
And the water's crystal clear, right?
I think from where we were standing,
Santorini has a darkish blue.
Oh, it's darkish blue.
Yeah. But the thing is, it looks so bright because of the colors, the whites, you know, the white reflections from the surroundings and the buildings, you know, so it just looks that much brighter. But yeah, it's a beautiful dark blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how much would you guys say your trip was? Like going to per person for anyone who would want to actually go to Turkey?
Okay, so if you just want to go to Turkey,
Yeah.
as we said, Turkey is really reasonable,
Yeah.
I mean, the average cost for flights from Cape Town to Istanbul, given that you'll have some layovers in Dubai and they'll be a bit longer, I would say it would start from 7,500, right?
That's a return flight.
That's a return flight.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, if you can, I
That's
asked for a
solid.
discount and I ended up paying 6,000 rand
Damn.
with Discovery. So do use your benefits, guys, if you do have some.
So Discovery, okay.
Yeah, so I get like a 25% off because of like your fitness levels and whatnot. Yeah.
You're a
So,
pretty fit girl, huh?
I do my best. I try. So,
Okay.
accommodation also, Turkey, as we said, is reasonable. Accommodation for maybe, it depends on what you want. It varies, you know what I mean? We wanted cause it was reasonable, we really wanted the best. We were sleeping in 5 stars, 3-star, 5 to 4-star hotels. You could find anything really, even hostels, So just to go to Turkey and go to the different places, even flights within, local flights in Turkey were really cheap. You're looking at 300 to 400, for a one way, which is really reasonable. Look, imagine going from here to Joburg for 400, bruh.
Yeah.
So, because we experienced different parts of Turkey, we went to 4 different places in Turkey and would use buses and flights. And what else? Food, as you said, is reasonable. So you're looking for a nice, good trip to Turkey. You could do it for 12 to 15,000. Also, South Africans and most Africans don't require visas to go to Turkey. So, yeah.
Unless you're Zimbabwean.
Do you? I haven't actually checked that one, but try and see. I don't think you do.
Zimbabweans need visas to go everywhere.
Oh, shame.
Every country is suspicious of us.
Oh,
They're yeah,
man.
these guys won't leave.
Ah,
And fair enough. We
Fair
won't.
enough.
yeah,
won't.
we'll get Zimbabwe back, guys.
Yeah.
The greatness of Zimbabwe.
Yeah, we have to. Okay, so Turkey. Okay, and I saw you have a blog now, right?
I do.
And so it's basically a travel blog.
Yeah, that's
Well-
where I share all my travel stories. I've loved to travel for a very long time. I did consider trying it out earlier because I used to keep journals as I travel, just
Yeah.
document my travels, what the places looked like, how they
Yeah.
made me feel, why I would want to go back, etc. But I just never really shared it with the public or everyone else, right? But I've always had this thing where when I travel, I come back, tell my friends all about it, and I'd go on and on and on for days. So I just created a platform where I can share it with just more than my friends and family, share it with the world. These are the places I've been to. This is what it looks like. This is what you can expect, etc., etc.
So what's the blog called?
It's called it's called Dash Trip Planners, so Dash Travel and Tours, because it's a collaboration between me and other travel enthusiasts, if I may say.
Oh, so it's not just you.
It's not just me. Yeah,
Okay.
my mom is also heavily involved in this, and the idea is because we've always helped plan trips for other people. Especially my mom, she does a lot of trip planning. A lot of people want her assistance in her showing them other parts of the world that she's been to, right? And so I was like, you know what, maybe just make it a bit formal and curate trips for people and then pitch it to them, because normally someone would come oh, I want to go here, just take us, and it was becoming a bit costly to her, and so I'm just make it a bit formal and curate trips and invite people. So the platform is for me to share my travel stories and her to be able to curate trips. I think I'll also do the same in the near future. I'm really looking forward to getting a group of youngsters and just go explore a fun location and just experience life together.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
And what's your Instagram handle?
My Instagram handle at the moment is a bit lame. At the moment, I'm about to change it. It is at I go by _Dakalo, DAKALO.
I go by.
Yeah.
So IGOBY.
Yeah, sounds like Igobi.
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 So Igobi
_.
Dakalo. And part 2, what's your Instagram handle for the people?
Mine is Black.Petro. So
Black.Petro.
it's- Yeah, PETRO.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And yours isn't really a travel blog, is it?
No.
Okay.
It is a lifestyle and fashion blog. Yeah,
It's a lifestyle.
She used to actually blog her outfits back in the day. I don't know. She somehow stopped. It was really growing and doing well. And yeah, if you're looking for fashion,
Yeah.
Can I say it?
Lifestyle.
Style and lifestyle.
Pat is phenomenal with the
influence.
fashion.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely
Thank
phenomenal.
you guys.
So guys, just check out their pages. So that's Black.Petro on Instagram, and I go by _Dakalo on for DK's Instagram. Guys, thank you so much for joining me.
Is it over?
Yeah.
Hey, so quickly.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. We'll do
nervous
this
to
again.
do this.
I know.
I thought it would go
Dakalo
on
was super scared
forever.
to do this.
Well, thanks for having us.
Black.Petro,
man.
I've had you before.
Yeah.
A couple of times, maybe once or twice last year. So it's great to have you back. And it's Dakalo's first time. Dakalo
I'm
was
happy
like,
to be here.
How did you invite Patty before me? But I was like,
Because I've known you longer, bruh.
fair enough.
We've been neighbors for almost 4 years. Come on.
Yeah. Well, you're here now. That's what matters.
I guess I had to start blogging for you to invite me.
Exactly. You had to.
Wow, sir.
You have to offer something, you know. Yeah.
I had nothing to offer.
Now you have loads to offer. What did you guys think of the ice cream? So, like I said, it's an African flavor, masao. It's an African fruit that they find in the wild. Actually, you don't grow it like apples or
It tastes
oranges.
How can I say? I think for me, I'm really just excited to have an African dessert. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we haven't, as Africans, we don't really have dessert.
No,
you know?
no.
I remember even growing up in Venda, I mean, we'd eat some very traditional foods and it would just drink water after your meal, you know? So now it's really nice
Exactly.
to have a dessert that sort of like is aligned with the flavors of our, you know, our palate and just our cuisine and the food that we eat. So
Exactly, because I know back home, if my mom was having what I'd call an
I
African
want
dessert, yeah, go ahead. Well, it would basically be having sweet potatoes, basically,
yes, exactly.
or pumpkin with
Oh yes,
like,
I know
like
that
smashed
one.
pumpkin.
Oh,
It's really
that
good.
is nice,
It's really
right?
good.
Yeah,
It's
but
really
it's so
good.
heavy also though.
It's
'cause
heavy,
after
yeah.
a meal,
It's
like,
heavy.
you
It's
know,
an actual meal.
It's an actual meal
Yeah.
because it's sweeter.
Yeah.
I can't relate.
What do you mean you
Never
can't
had
relate?
it.
You've never
But
had
you
it.
have. I promise
What is
you.
it, pumpkin?
Not chizimba,
But it's too
but
bougie to remember.
Topi.
Yes.
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 I can't
I just had that
relate.
a few
You
few days
can't-
ago,
you
actually,
can't
when I was
relate.
home.
So what do you
Yeah,
guys
I
call
know.
it?
Topi.
We call it nopi.
No
No
pee.
pee.
Yeah.
Very
You know,
similar.
Sean and
similar.
Venda cultures are very similar.
They are.
Yeah.
We're basically brother and sister, guys.
I
Yeah,
believe
basically.
Yeah, I
so.
love you guys.
Love you too.
While you're eating.
Love you, Glenn.
So what do you guys think of the ice cream? Would you actually consider getting it?
I love it.
That's
I love
great.
it.
That's great.
I mean, I think also it's one of those things where just because we're so used to like your vanilla flavors that are, you know, it just needs a bit of adjusting because we've never had dessert this way.
Yeah.
But I love it. It tastes good, you know. It reminds me of like flavors that are very familiar to me that I can like, you know, like, I don't know, pinpoint from other like types of foods that we have. So it's delicious.
It
I
feels like ice cream should be vanilla or chocolate or strawberry.
Exactly. So
You
I think
can't
that's
imagine it being something else.
exactly. So I think it's lit.
Yeah, it's lit. And so Tapi also does sorbets, so different flavors of sorbets. So if you guys want to check out his Instagram,
How do we get Tapi Tap? How
Yeah.
do we buy it?
so the Instagram handle is _Tapi_Tapi. So basically, you just go on their Instagram page, DM, and for the first 10 people who actually do this, they get 10% if you give them the code amateur.
Oh, nice.
So amateur is your code, and you'll get 10% off your first order. So the first 10 people basically
And these
to-
are these the only sizes that they have?
So he has 250 mils.
Which is this one here.
Yeah, this is 250. So yeah, that's what they have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, check out their Instagram if you're keen on tasting it. Support Black Upcoming.
Yeah.
Very unique.
Very unique,
company.
yeah.
His stuff is absolutely phenomenal.
I mean, who would have thought of this?
Yeah,
It's
not a
genius.
lot of people.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for
we
having
should
us,
we should
Glenn.
absolutely do this again. And to all the people, stay with your amateur opinions. Just keep talking, and at some point, you'll realize that we're all amateurs because you can't be experts at everything. So until next
I
week,
subscribe to that.
absolutely. So just subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's Amateur Opinions with Deuce and Easy. Same thing on. We're available in every audio platform for podcasts. So that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, whatever you use, we're there. So just be sure to check us out next week. Subscribe, give us a 5-star rating, comment, DM me, follow me on Instagram, and yeah, let's do this again next time.
Peace out.
Thank you so much for joining me. All right, until next week. Peace.